Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you how to make the best birria quesadillas. So if you want to learn how to make them, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alright guys, so here I already have all of my ingredients. As always, it will be listed in the description box. So with that being said, let's begin prepping. Alright guys, so here I have my meat cut into large chunks along with my short ribs. We're just going to be seasoning with coarse salt. And I'm using a combination of chuck pot rolls and chuck tender rolls. Alright, so once we have our meat nice and coated with our salt, we can take it to the stove. In a large pot over high heat, we're going to heat up a little bit of oil. Once it's nice and hot, we're going to place our pieces of meat and we're going to be searing for 3 minutes per side. After 3 minutes, flip the meat over to the other side and allow that side to sear for another 3 minutes. Okay, and once that's done, we remove the meat from the pot and repeat the process with the rest of the meat. So once all of our meat is nice and seared, we're just going to return it all to the pot. Make sure you add all of its juices. And along with that, we're going to add 1 onion, 1 head of garlic, 2 roma tomatoes, and 4 bay leaves. We're going to be covering with 4 quarts of water. Now just allow it to come to a full boil. Once it comes to a boil, remove all of the foam formed on top of the broth. And now we're just going to reduce the heat to medium-low, cover it, and allow it to cook for 1 hour. Okay, so after 1 hour, we can get ready to make our birria sauce. So I'm going to be using the same broth to soften my chiles. So just make sure that you clean them well. Add them to the pot. And just allow them to sit for about 3 to 5 minutes or until they're nice and soft. I'm going to be adding my chiles anchos. And if you want your birria to be extra spicy, you can add chile de árbol. But since I'm using New Mexico, they're already spicy on their own. So we're just going to give them time and allow them to soften. Okay, so once they soften, we can remove them from the pot, along with 3 cups of its broth. And I'll just set it to the side until it's time to blend. For our spices, we're just going to lightly toast them. I already have my pan over medium heat. Just allow it to get nice and hot. And once it's nice and hot, we're going to begin to toast our sesame seeds. And they toast pretty fast, so just as soon as you see them turn color, transfer them to the blender cup. Okay, into the same pan, I'm going to be adding my cinnamon stick. Just make sure to crush it, along with the whole cloves, peppercorn, thyme, oregano, and whole cumin. So just allow it to get nice and fragrant. And as soon as you begin to smell all the spices, transfer them to the blender cup as well. And now that we have our spices, we can get ready to blend. Okay, so now just pulverize all of the spices. Okay, so once that's all crushed, we can add the rest of our ingredients, which is our piece of ginger, 4 bay leaves, 7 garlic cloves, 1/4 of a cup of white vinegar, and all of the chili pods, along with the broth. And now just blend it into smooth. Okay, and just like that, we have our birria sauce. So now we can return it back to the pot. Now here to our pot, we're going to remove the onion and the head of garlic. Okay, and add the birria sauce. And strain if you need to. Okay, now we're just going to mix it. So like that, we can taste it for salt and see if we're gonna have to adjust it. Now we're just going to cover it and allow it to continue cooking for another 1.5 hours or until the meat is nice and tender. Okay, so while we wait for our birria to finish cooking, we're going to make our flour tortillas for our quesadillas. So to a bowl, add 6 cups of all-purpose flour, salt, I'm using 2.5 teaspoons. Mix it with your clean hand. And then crumble 1/2 cup of lard or shortening. I'm using avocado shortening. This is the one I'm using. So now just crumble it together until it feels kind of like sand. Okay, so once we crumble the shortening with the flour, now we're slowly going to pour hot water. And just as hot as your hands can handle, and begin to mix it. Okay, here you just want to hydrate the flour. So just as long as you don't have no dry spots. And just make sure that you pour it slowly until the flour is nice and hydrated. And you don't want your dough to be dry, otherwise you're just going to have very dry tortillas. So make sure that you add enough water. All right, so this is enough water and your dough is going to be very sticky, but just as you need, it's going to go away and the dough is going to begin to form. Okay, and you can remove it out of the bowl so like that it's easier to work it. But as you can see, it's grabbing its shape and you don't have to add any more flour. Alrighty, and just like that, our dough is done. So now we're going to get ready to divide it into even balls. And of course, depending on how big you want your quesadillas, and it depends on how big you're going to divide your balls. Just make sure that you get them. Okay, so just place them over foil with a little bit of flour and make sure to keep them covered at all times so like that they don't dry out. Okay, so once we have divided all of our dough, we're going to allow it to rest for at least 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we can now get ready to shape a tortilla. So we're just going to dust a little flour on our clean countertop. And make sure that at this time your comal is nice and hot. And now we just begin to roll. Up, down, flip it over, up, down, flip it over. And we continue it until we have achieved our tortilla size that we're going for. Okay, so now we're just going to place a tortilla on our hot comal and allow it to blister. And once it blisters, allow it to cook for about 30 seconds. And once done, we can transfer it to our kitchen towel and we repeat the process with the rest of our tortillas. Alrighty guys, and just like that, we have our flour tortillas. So by this time, our birria should be done. Okay, so our meat should be nice and tender. Of course, make sure that you check it. And I'm just going to remove it from the consomme, so like that we can get ready to shred it. Alright, so now we're just going to return our birria back to the consomme. Make sure to remove the top layer since that's all the grease. Okay, and just like that we have our birria, so now we can make our quesadillas. Okay, so here I have my comal over medium heat. It's nice and hot. Now I'm going to be adding a layer of my queso Oaxaca. And I want it to be as big as a tortilla. Okay, once it begins to melt, place a tortilla on top. Okay. And once we have it, flip it over. And we can add our birria. Here I'm going to squeeze a little lime juice, topping it with a little more cheese, some onion, and cilantro. Now we're just going to add the top, cover it, and allow it to come together. Okay, I'm just going to cut it in half so we can get ready to serve. And once we have our quesadillas, we can now get ready to enjoy. Now let me tell you guys that I hope you give this recipe a try. This is seriously the best birria, and of course in a flour tortilla, it's honestly the best. So hope you give it a try and enjoy it just as much. Cheers and enjoy. Everything is just so perfect. Alrighty guys, and there you have it, how to make super easy and delicious birria quesadillas. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and if you like this recipe, please don't forget to tag me in any of my social medias, and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys keep part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.